let's piece this industry, put them into different pieces before we put them into one advocacy component. So if you have gas, we have gas under our ground, and even Lagos has now joined the field of gas producers, and we are having to pay for our own product in dollars. I don't know. Explain what effect this is having on
yes,
the industry.
I think we took them up on this matter at one point in time. We understand that petroleum is an international product, which is not, the prices are not fixed within. So therefore, we may not be able to say, why do they also have petroleum price in dollar? Gas, as it were, yes. That was the question we put to them, that why selling in dollar? Why not in our naira? Even to the extent that we claim we want to boost our naira against the dollar, and we are still selling the product that we produce within in dollar. And the answer is just the same alibi that it's also an international product. But I told them that the prices are not determined by any international body, as it were, unlike petroleum, which the prices, both the supplies and demand, are being determined by OPEC. So where does this come from? And how would they be able to leverage? Yes, as much as we want to sympathize with the disco people, it's because the way they are treating the consumer, that's why they don't get the sympathy. Their case is just like that of a police that complains about their welfares, moribunds kind of structures all the time, and they want to alibi it to be the reason why they are what they are. And they want the populace to sympathize with them and to understand why they behave. The same reason why the so-called discos cannot get my sympathy in trying to force the government to do that which ought to be done legally, which is selling the gas at the rate of naira. Because the price of gas are not being determined by international body, unlike the petroleum, like I said. So I think it is something that they ought to fight within themselves. Because their service to the people are not encouraging. Their attitude to the people are not encouraging. And once you lose the support of the people, you fight alone. That's the way I look at it. Yes, to me, it is not legal. Yes, to me, it is not supposed to be. But who will bear the cat for them? Because who are the owners of the discos? The same policymakers. I can name them for the purpose of it in this interview. Who are the owners of the discos? The Abu Salam of this world, the Tinubus of this world, the Adeolas of this world, who are the same policymakers for all that this thing. Or is Adeola not within the oil and gas as well? Yes. Oh, is Dangote not within the oil and gas as well? These are the people that bought these discos. Bought, quote and unquote. Off camera the other time I was explaining to you how some of them have not been able to pay up even the initial money they are supposed to pay. 5 years running into their privatization license that they give to them. So who is to fight for them? So why are they crying foul, and why do they have to pour the burden on us via the estimated bill? So to me, I believe it may be wrong, but it is still them all the same.
So don't you feel there should be, since you've identified it as wrong, shouldn't there be an advocacy channel here?
Yes, like I said, advocacy channel is supposed to be, even if that is when even their own attitude toward the final consumer is encouraging. They lead us with a rod as if we are going to Golgotha. You need to see their staffers, the way they act, and they act when it comes to payment of supposedly estimated bill that is not correspondent or commensurate to the light they supply. They themselves have failed to do the needful relating to the privatization and memorandum of understanding they signed by virtues of the 18-month gestation period given to them to supply every consumer with prepaid meters. And yet they are enjoying sending estimated billing to every houses without even knowing the correspondent methodology that they use to arrive at that. And the same customer that want to go and fight for you that they should sell gas to you in dollars or in naira, your headache. They have all other conjures, indices, they make us to believe that we account. I mean, it's to tell you that the Nigerians will just live by the jugular. In the sense that they are still even contemplating increasing the price of tariff by going about doing that which was stipulated in Section 76 of Section 2, Paragraph B of the 2005 Electricity Reform Act, or Power Reform Act, as it were. What are you talking about? You have not even fulfilled the other side of the one that you gave us to us in 2016, February 3rd. And you are thinking of increasing again. Why you told us then that it's a pill that we will have to swallow because of what? Because it's no longer MITO 5 years. It's going to be MITO 10 years. What do I mean? Multi-tariff years operation is supposed to be 5 years according to the provisions of the law. Now, Fashola, the ministers of power, said that this one has also as council and override that of MITO 5 is now MITO 10. Now it is not even up to 1 year or more than 1 year, despite the court judgment that I myself and my brother, Barrister Toluwani, got from Justice Mohammed Idris on July 13, 2016. If we could not, if that could not be obeyed, and you have not even obeyed it, that's why the judge calling it barbaric, illegal, and unconstitutional. And yet you are thinking of increasing another one. Where is that done?
Okay.
So how do you want me to go and fight for those people? That they should bring the price of gas into dollar, into naira. What's my own?
So another problem that is faced at the gas line is pipeline vandalization. Yes, the figures are dropping, but the pipelines are still being vandalized. And the consequent effects leading up to the generation plants is the fact that the generation plants cannot function effectively because as last I checked, only 2 plants out of the 25 plants connected to the grid were fully operational. The other plants were partially operational. So I know there's not much we can do around pipeline vandalization in terms of advocacy, or there is much we can do. There's much we can do, but how much have you seen is the question I should be asking on advocacy against pipeline vandalization by non-government officials? Are citizens really involved in stopping?
Well, yes,
people?
Yes, to some extent. Some of us also do. We try as much as possible to put up some, kind of words to the effect that the government also should be proactive in protecting this pipeline.
What are some proactive measures?
NSDC, that is the Nigerian Security Defense and what have you, do they have the capacity? Do they have the equipment? Are they well equipped? Can't you see the way even the one that's supposed to do the protections of lives are being equipped? They are supposed to be what we call synergy within all the security apparatus in order to carry out this work and carry it out successfully. Which I believe that that's what the government is doing with that of Operation Crocodile Smiles and Operations Python Dance.
So you feel the government is putting in some coordination?
Yeah, I believe that the vandalizations of pipeline has reduced drastically.
So moving on to generation, yes, there's lots of generation both on the grid and off the grid.
Yeah.
And Prime Minister Fashola, as I love to call him, said we were doing 7,000 megawatts, but 3,000 was lost to sabotage. So which shows you that at least 3/7 of what we generate is still, according to him, lost to some form of vandalization and sabotage. That's putting that out there.
The problem of vandalization is still real. Exactly. If you are losing up to 46% of what you generated to sabotage, let me take him for his word. That means we still have, that means the postulation I just gave the other time could not, is jejune, it cannot be substantiated by virtues of what you just read out from the ministers of power. Exactly. If we lost about 46% to vandalization, And then what are we now talking about? Because sabotage, I don't know the area of where they have been sabotaged other than the vandalizations of the pipeline.
I would love to find out from you. What do you think can be done to free that stranded power?
Well, to me, I just believe that it boils down to what they failed to do ab initio, and which is when they are privatizing this. And I told you there are some certain criteria that they're supposed to look into before they dash themselves, these companies. One of it is financial stability and financial backing. The second, which is most paramount, is also technical know-how. Many of the people that they share this company among themselves does not have the technical know-how. The generation company has technical know-how, and they've generated
more than we need.
More than our grid can cover. Because between last year and today, except we have expanded, we can only accommodate 5,000 megawatts. So even if we produce that, generate that, our grid cannot contain it. We still have a shortfall.
Sorry to put this out.
Because you know very well that power cannot be stored.
Yeah.
It can't be stored. It has to be. There is no way you can say, oh, let me keep it for tomorrow.
We have batteries. We have energy storage systems coming up.
Yes. It's still coming up. And back to what I was trying to say is that, back to your question, the reason why they are witnessing all these things, the stranded energy, stranded power, is because they have not upgraded the initial equipment they met on ground. They've not done anything about it. It's not surprising to you that it is happened to the Genco, to the Transco. It's still the same way the discos are doing with the transformers on ground. People still buy transformers by themselves, which is completely illegal. Why? Because the financial backbone they ought to have before they can even give them this was not there. Imagine the telecom industry when they came in and they are now asking you and I to have to be the one that will buy the poles and all these things that they use to supply us. You can imagine when they first came in, we are one of the early adopters. I think I bought my line in August or September. They started in August 2001. I bought mine in September. We still climbed the tree. We climbed this thing. And before the end of that year, we're beginning to stand on inside our house and receive calls. Those are the people that came in with the technical know-how and with the financial background, apart from the initial money they paid to buy this thing. If you recollect very well, many of these licenses were sold to them at $288 per $1 million or thereabout. And outside that, they still come with the money to come and invest here. But the discos were sold to indigenous people. Many of those ones are the ones that looted us dry in the first instance. They keep the money and they did not invest in it. They didn't buy new equipment. They did not do anything to the transformer and the transmission equipment. Many of times you will see that there is no light, and you call the disco, what happened? They said there is a transmission breakdown. That it is them that they have problem, not there, that they have enough to distribute, but the transmission organization does not have whatever. Why? Because the equipment they met on ground is still what they are using. Imagine if it is equipment of Nitel that the telecom they are still using. How will it be able to effectively?
You hear that the transmission company has been wheeling 5,000 megawatts since 1950. So that speaks to how good their facilities are. But the question is, what's the reform point that Nigerians should latch onto with regards to transmission? What's the demand?
The demand is very simple. Now they got a loan from ADB.
$2 billion.
$2 billion US dollar.
Yes.
And what is that money meant for? To operate, to upgrade their equipment? Or
which they've started doing.
Which they have started doing. So let us see how far and how quick that will be done, and we'll be able to see the effects. Because, like I said, these are the problems that we have. The problem is, by the time these discos are buying and collecting this company, I have not seen it in my life. It only happens in the last administration, that somebody wants to buy my car. Then I have to sign an agreement with the person that bought my car that I am the one to supply you battery, or if your battery comes down, I'm the one to buy fuel for you if you need it. Even if the engine has problems, don't worry, I'm still going to be the one to do that for you for a certain period of time. That is the kind of privatization they did in the electricity distribution company. The government signed a memorandum of understanding that you are going to be giving $500 million to each and every discos to run a company you claim they are buying from you. And that was why I put it to them at the Senate committee that if they claim that they pay money to buy this company, how come in your memorandum of understanding you still agree that you are going to be giving money back to you? What kind of arrangement is that? Is that to portray my point that none of you pay to buy this company except the initial payment of 30%, which the law stipulated that you should pay, which you have paid since 2007 anyway, since you showed initial interest in it. Because that was what the law says in Electricity Reform Act. These are the problems we have on ground. These are the reasons why this cannot move forward.
But the loans that you refer to, are they not legacy debts?
Which of the loan?
So
the disco zone or
on the disco side, you have a legacy debt of 100 billion from MDAs, which is one we can feel and touch and identify with.
Don't forget that last year, because in the course of our advocacy and fighting them against the increase in tariff, the CBN give them an intervention fund close to about 400 billion naira. All the discos. That was the question we asked them, that what did they do with it? Because in the debate I had with the executive directors, associations of discos distribution company, Mr. Sunday Odunton, at the TVC, I told him, and I'm beginning to read it out with figures, that these are the agreements you signed in the memorandum of understanding. And these are what your company said is going to invest from $3 million to $4 million within this period and period. None of it has been done as at the time we are debating. And yet, inside the memorandum of understanding, the government promised them money. And you know, their in-performance and their underperforming attitude now is inks on that. When you ask them, why is it that you did not fulfill that which was written down in your memorandum of understanding about the 18-month gestation period of giving prepaid meter to everybody? They said, has the government fulfilled their own side?
The government still owns debts to some of these companies. For example, the government owns debts to the generation companies.
Yes.
For Egbe is at 125 billion. You understand? So the question actually will be, how do we plug in Nigerians to get this sector working? For example, on the transmission side, can't we decentralize this grid and get people running a buy and sell demand for power? We have the bulk trader, and the bulk trader are supposed to be the wholesalers of electricity. Should we have a bulk trader in the electricity power sector?
That thing you just said has provisions in the law. Under Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, it's only said that those people that want to be a bulk trader has to register and on and on and on. I think the area you are not even looking at, that I think is supposed to be a kind of a succor to whatever problem we are having, is renewable energy. I have fought and talked about it. And I said that, how can you be talking about this policy with your mouth and not practicing it? When Ministry of Power is budgeting a kind of about 100 million naira to buy diesels and to service generator. And yet you cannot be the one that will showcase how renewable energy will work. Aso Rock is budgeting about 400 million naira for diesels and to service generator. And yet renewable energies are there, which you are supposed to showcase to the people. And now it is the people that are now thriving and trying to bring about renewable energy. When in Kenya, almost every household has what we call renewable energy as a source of power supply.
So just to round up, what are the policy demands from your end as a consumer protection agency?
Well, as the very first thing is a review. As the disco's years of privatization, first 5 years round up in a few months away, precisely by October ending, it will be 4 years, and they are to round up next year, October, or precisely November 3rd. As they round up, there's a provision in the law that says that their performances must be evaluated. And where they perform below the line, even their performances, as it were, according to that provisions of the law, supposed to be on a monthly, on a yearly basis. And they are supposed to be sanctioned. I have not seen many of them be sanctioned. In the area of estimated bill only, where the methodology is only known to their crooks, we don't see them being sanctioned. But we see consumers crying and shouting every now and then. One of the areas of quality point is that when their reviews is coming up, we must be able to review them based on performance. We must be able to review them based on research of the consumer feedback from each and every discourse. We must be able to review them based on their financial capacity and capability this time around. Because all the noise I hear is that nobody wants to borrow them money. The banks are not ready to borrow them money. The banks cannot borrow you money because they knew very well, because the bankers also are human beings who are experiencing the vague estimated bill you brought to each and every house. And nobody will be glad enough to pay a bill that you did not owe.
Welcome to Forstview Luxury Hotel. At Forstview Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forstview Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeola Mishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forceviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forstview Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.